Before we begin, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is John Paul Bareng, and with me are my groupmates. First, we have here Paulette, Camille, Santillan. Next, we have Jerryme, Cablinan. Also here is Norman Antilegando. Also joining us is Darshan Barot. And behind the camera, we have Alfred Serrano. So to keep the ball rolling, let's turn it over to Pau, who will share the company background. Pau?
Thank you, Paul. So here I will be discussing the background of the Caterpillar Tunneling Canada Corporation. So it was founded in 1972, originally as the Lovett Inc. It specializes in tunneling and underground construction project, which was acquired by a U.S. company, Caterpillar, and later renamed it to CDCC, or the Caterpillar Tunneling Canada Corporation. The company is known for its manufacturing tunnel boring machines, which focuses on the customs designs, resale, and even after sales components, including the technical and ground assistance support. Thank you, Paul. That's all for the background of CDCC.
Thank you so much for that, Pau. All interesting stuff. And now we will be discussing the challenges that CTCC face and how it relates to the three dimensions of information systems. To discuss first management and organization, here's Jeremy. Hello, Jeremy.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, so I will be talking about some challenges that is facing on the management and organization sides of the CTCCs or the corporations that we read or tackled about. As far as CTCC's management is concerned, managerial courage is not visible to establish a system to monitor projects. They will only realize it that is over budgeted when the project is delivered. Although there was an attempt to like progress check, but however, it came from outsource or external sources instead of developing from internal or I mean inside the company. Okay. So about the organization size, there are some challenges, but these are the primary challenges. So the primary challenge of the organization is the absence of an independent IT department that offers IS solution to its stakeholders. And we all know it's very important, the IT department on the company, right? So the existing IT department is considered only as a support that doesn't include ERP or the BI operations in the company. That is for managements and organization side. So let's hear some insights about the challenges that is facing on the technology sides by Norman.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. I hope everyone is feeling all right at this point. So, as far as technology is concerned, we identify the challenges based on the case, such as data inconsistency and fragmentation, limited data analysis with no historical data, and there were poorly defined processes, including unpredictable system behaviors. So all these were brought about the coexistence of ERP, and we know what ERP is about, right? And its predecessors. We know that they have limitations, including but not limited to the non-conformance reports, but incidents cannot be traced to nowhere. That's the crazy thing about this company.
So that's it for the dimensions of information systems and how it relates to the case. Let's move on to Porter's five forces and how it relates to the case. To talk about this, please welcome Darshan.
Thank you, Paul. So today I'll be talking about the Forest 5 forces that relates with Caterpillar and its TBM. So I'll be talking about the threats of new entrances in the underground mining and equipments which are used in the industry, which is quite really low. Yeah. And with the investments and the research development which were taking place with its production and technology, which is needed and it's quite influential. Going on to my second point, which is the buyer's bargaining power, which is also quite low at a certain point, which because the costs are really high, and it's at its limit. And when the bargaining power markets happen to be used, right? So in the construction market and the mining industry, so the result is quite low. Okay. Going on to the third point, which is the supplier's bargaining power, is also quite low as well, which is quite interesting because it has its long-term relationship with the CTCC, which is very long. So going on to my fourth point of Porter's five forces, it is the substitution threats that is related with Caterpillar, which is also quite low because of using the tunneling and the equipments which is related, and it's quite critical as well. And it's a possible substitute which is also better than the CTCC's TBM. So going on to my last point, it's about the competition in the industry. Oh, it is really quite high. And while using the CTCC, it wants to maintain its position in the market, right? So it should also continue and to upgrade its innovative ideas and to produce its current products in the market. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Darshan. So the competition in the market is the only thing that's high. Thank you so much about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, to sum it all up, we have just discussed two concepts that relates to the CTCC case. First is the dimensions of information systems. We have management, organization, and technology. And second is the Porter's five barriers. Now, to give our recommendation in related to these concepts, let's have Jeremy to give his recommendation on management.
Thank you, JP. Guys, earlier I discussed about the some challenges that is facing from in management, organizations, and technology, right? So right now we will be presenting to them the recommendations that we have about the managements. As a group, we are presenting these recommendations, the concept of Lewin's force field model, which is suggests that driving forces for changes should exceed restraining forces for a real change to happen. So CTCC must strengthen the IT department, of course, with operational and governance strategy and tactics, develop strategic core business visions, and value expense in every project management. And to hear some recommendation for the organization part, this is Darshan to give some insights about it.
Thank you, Jeremy. So today I'll be talking about the recommendations of the organizations. So which basically has to focus and should focus on the building of a user-centric approach in business intelligence. So that targets the uniqueness, demands, and the processes across all departments of the organization, and it must invest in the user training, the assistance, the improving of data governance, as well as to promote a culture of data-driven decision making, and to invest in analytical skills, and to create a consolidated data platform to increase the speed and accuracy of the insights that's provided by business intelligence functionally.
So much, Darshan. All sounds insightful. Now, joining us is Alfred, and going behind the cam is Jeremy. Thank you. To talk about the technology recommendation, here's Alfred. Alfred?
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, thank you. So we will talk about the CTCC failed to anticipate, all right? So the implementation risk of a requirement and solution mismatch when introducing a new system. It's resulting in organization inefficiency and unsuccessful system rollout. To overcome the company challenges, they should apply the concept of the system development process. Is to analyze the current state of the ERP system, identify the reasons for the BI's low user adoption, and gather feedback from the end users. And lastly, and design the system architecture and user's interface. The most important details are testing, conversion, product, and maintenance phases. Testing involves developing, conducting, and integrating tests. Conversion also involves the data migration or migration from the existing to the new system, while the product maintenance involves on ongoing support as KIP. Finally, product maintenance includes providing a regular checkpoints, updates, and enhancement to the system, just to make sure and to ensure it meets the requirement of the system and users.
Very well said, Alfred. So that's it for our analysis on the case of CTCC. I hope everyone learned something today. On behalf of our group, thank you and good night.